Hey, hi. In the last video, we built a questionnaire to figure out if you have a true migraine brain. Today, we are talking about the moment you feel an attack coming on. What if you could stop it with this? Hey, I'm Pratyay, and welcome back to our Decoding Migraine series based on the book Fighting the Migraine Epidemic. The book makes a very bold claim that I can personally vouch for after years of experimentation. You can often stop a migraine in its tracks using nothing but salt. But this is not random. To make it work, you have to follow a two-step process. One, become a detective, and second, deploy the first response. So what is becoming a detective really? This step one is all about anticipation. It requires you to recognize your personal prodromes that we talked in the previous episode. Those unique warning signs that tell you before the migraine has even started. It might be the tingling, the mood swings, the visual disturbances, or anything that you face. This is you anticipating the attack before the pain even hits. This is the most crucial skill you need to develop in order to stop a migraine in its tracks. This takes us to the second step, the first response. The moment you recognize a prodrome, here's the first response. Take a tiny amount of salt. Personally, when I feel an attack coming, I use about 1/8 of a teaspoon of salt with a glass of water. For the fastest absorption, the book advises placing a few salt crystals directly under your tongue. You'll get used to this. Why salt? Because a migraine is fundamentally an energy crisis in the brain, triggered by an electrolyte imbalance, specifically a lack of sodium and potassium. This small dosage of salt that you just had provides the crucial sodium to help re-establish your brain's electrical balance, and this can stop the attack from escalating. You can also have pistachios. It is really good for your migraine brain, but in a limited quantity. Don't throw the balance on the other side. I know you might be thinking, let's break this myth down that salt is bad for you. Doesn't it raise blood pressure? For most people, yes, that's the conventional wisdom. But people with a migraine brain are often different. That's why we talked in the previous video to confirm through a questionnaire that what you have is a migraine, because this book points out that most migraineurs tend to have lower blood pressure or hypotension. When you take a small amount of salt, it helps your body to retain more water. This retaining of water increases your blood volume, which in turn can generally but gently raise your blood pressure. But because you're likely starting from a lower baseline, like I do, this isn't a dangerous spike. It's a corrective measure that brings your system back towards the balance. You're not pushing yourself off the edge. You're pulling yourself back from that brink. Now let's address the second concern out there, the carb thirst trap. This is the most obvious one out there. You ate carbs, anything sugary, and then felt incredibly thirsty. That's because as glucose enters your cell, it pulls water and sodium out of the cells. Your instinct is to drink tons of water, but what this ends up doing is it dilutes your electrolytes even more. This book's radical advice: don't just chug water as soon as you had a lot of carbs. Take a little salt with your water to replace sodium that you just lost. What you're doing here is doing a small dosage of ORS. So, in conclusion, by learning to be a detective with your prodromes and using salt as your first response, you can move from being a victim of your migraines to being in control. In our next video, we will move beyond stopping attacks and talk about the long-term prevention, treatment strategies, and answer some frequently asked questions from the book.